Welcome back. My name is Jess and I'm an Airbnb cleaner and host. In my last video, we talked about how cleaners can find Airbnb clients, but today we're going to turn the table and talk about how you as a host can find quality Airbnb cleaners. As a host myself, these are going to be the top questions I would ask a prospective cleaner if I was going to be hiring for my properties. If you're new to Airbnb or short-term rentals, there's a saying, you don't know what you don't know. And that is something that I hear a lot of new Airbnb hosts say. Whenever they're interviewing me to clean their property, they always say that. So they really like that my team can provide some sort of experience. But the questions that I'm going to recommend that hosts ask prospective cleaners basically comes from that. You want to have a cleaner who is experienced in what they're doing so they can help you and your business become more profitable. My first question for a prospective cleaner is going to be, how many team members do you have? If you're interviewing a cleaning team or a solo cleaner, this is very important. Even a solo cleaner can have a couple of folks cleaning with them, as in maybe some backup help. And if a cleaning team, how many actual team members do they have that can work on your short-term rental? An Airbnb schedule is a little different than maybe a consistent every 2-week cleaning. If you are going to run your property with the idea of maximizing revenue, then you're going to want to do things like have one-night stays. You're going to want to do instant booking, which means if a guest is checking out at 10 a.m., for example, today, and the team is there cleaning, or the team is supposed to come and clean, the property could book that same day, and then it has to be ready by 3 or 4 in the afternoon. There's also a lot of weekends involved in short-term rental. People go on vacation or go out of town over long weekends over the weekend. So you have a lot of folks checking in on Fridays and a lot of folks checking out on Sundays. So the weekends can be kind of busy for short-term rentals. So if the cleaner does not have a strong team, then that could impact when your property is being cleaned. Also, we have to understand that cleaners are human beings. They're going to get sick. They're going to have kids that get sick. They're going to have family emergencies. They're going to have car trouble. They're going to want a day off. Like, these kinds of things come into play. And unfortunately, in the short-term rental space, it's really hard to maximize revenue if you have a cleaner that's not going to be available. Whereas if you have a team, then you've got your folks that are going to be taking time off or having their issues, but still that team is responsible for getting the property ready. You also want to ask what kind of experience that these cleaners have. If the cleaner tends to work with small apartment style units or condos, 2-bedroom condos, that's great. But if your property sleeps 18 people and it's on the water and it's a big old mansion, then it's going to be completely different. You don't know, does this cleaner actually have experience with cleaning larger homes like this? Do they have the time management skills? You don't want your house to be the first house that they're cleaning that's of this size. You want to make sure that they have experience cleaning these kinds of properties or a property similar to yours. And my last main question is going to be about processes and communication. So when I say processes, I don't mean how this cleaning team cleans a certain area of the house. I'm referring to how they run their business. Like I said before, Airbnb schedules can be very different. And again, if you're going to be running your property on a one-night stay, or you're going to have a lot of bookings throughout the month, how is your cleaner going to manage when they need to be at the property? So are they going to use a PMS? Are they going to expect you to use a PMS, a property management software? Are they just going to have calendar access on Airbnb? Do they expect you to text them when the house needs to be cleaned? This is very important because it kind of shows how organized this cleaning team or this solo cleaner is. But if I were you as a new host, I would not be texting the cleaner when the property needs to be cleaned. I would insist on some sort of electronic access to a calendar so that the cleaner can know when the property is going to be cleaned. I had my very first Airbnb client. She actually was a very nice lady, and she wanted to text me when the property would be cleaned, and she would send me a list, couple of weeks in advance of when the property would need to be cleaned. And she one night got a booking. It was like, I don't think it was an instant book, but it was something that was not expected. And she texted me at 10 o'clock at night saying, "You didn't clean the house." And I was like, "No, you didn't tell me to clean the house." So it was her mistake, and she was very apologetic, and I was able to go out. You know, it wasn't my favorite clean ever, but I did go out at 10 o'clock at night and got the property ready for her. But it kind of showed me that, you know, people are human. So this property owner, this host, I mean, she had a day job, she had kids. She is not going to be solely focused on when the house needs to be cleaned. So to take that off of her plate and to take it off of your plate, some sort of calendar access, I think, is a requirement. Now, if you're the kind of person that just wants to do a text message as well, just to, you know, reiterate the cleaning, I'm totally fine with that. I work with hosts now where I don't work with anybody if they say they want to text me. I just say, nope, that's just a non-negotiable for me. But if they want to text me and I have calendar access, then I'm okay with that. I think that if that makes the host feel better, then I'm willing to do it. And that kind of leads me into communication. So if your cleaner or your prospective cleaner does not have good communication skills, it's going to cause you a lot of stress as a host. And I don't necessarily think that this is something that you think about, but I actually had one of my own clients call me a couple days before Christmas, and I answered the phone and he said, that's why I like you, because you always answer. So he was kind of harping on his cleaning team in another area because he was saying that, you know, she never answers the phone, or she kind of leaves him on read for for a couple of days, and it was really hard to get in touch with her. So I think if your cleaning team is going to be the kind of team that you can reach out to and they're going to be able to answer questions and they're going to answer the phone, I think it's just going to make your life easier, because you got to think about it. When you have multiple jobs or multiple businesses or just daily life in general, you're not going to be thinking about every little aspect of your short-term rental. And it's not necessarily something you need to make hard, but having good communication with your Airbnb cleaner is going to be really helpful. It's just going to make your life easier. And don't be afraid to ask your cleaner what their recommendations are. Over the years, I've had a lot of hosts that were new to Airbnb, or even now I have, you know, folks that reach out to me that have multiple properties and they ask for, you know, my advice, what my advice on linens is, what my advice on amenities is, because we come into the house more frequently than anybody else. A cleaner is going to come into the house more frequently. Now, if you're the kind of host that wants to be there after every turn, you know, that's great. But a lot of people get into Airbnb short-term rental and their goal is to make an additional revenue stream and kind of have it operating in the background. So in order to do that, you are going to need a strong cleaning team. And hopefully these questions that you can ask a prospective cleaner will help you to find the right fit. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment or reach out to me directly. Even if you're setting up your very first Airbnb, I'd love to help or give out any, if you have any questions, I'd love to help and give out any advice that I can. Or please leave a comment on the bottom and I'll do the best I can to answer it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.